Hey guys, a case study I got was about two junior project managers who try and go into this company and they talk about, they interview and get feedback from the employees of what they think of the company, how it's running, and just getting the whole kind of gist of the communication part, mainly on the climate or the culture of the company, and it's all created. The culture is created by um, the boss or the president, Roger, and the two project managers, um, Fred and Mary, go in and try and resolve the conflict of this communication between the employees and Roger, the boss or the president. And so the theory that I'm applying is the organizational culture, and it's going to help um, show what the culture is like around the workplace or help see it. Um, and the concepts I'm doing is the defensive climate, dysfunctional conflict, stress, and the five essential elements. And so these concepts are kind of negative in terms of they the case study kind of is a negative, kind of gives off a negative perspective, because it's always talking about the conflict between the boss and the employees, and how the employees are upset about what kind of communication or what communication they get from the boss. And in some of the interviews that they get, that Fred and Mary um, have with the employees, some of them say that in one case, Roger, the president or the boss, kind of shuts them down and makes excuses of ways to get out of the conversation, and so it doesn't really take into consideration that the communication is a very key part to making a having a good organizational culture. And so the major issue, like I said, with this whole case study is communication. Fred and Mary go in and they try and do their thing, and they have to deal with the boss, like I said, who kind of seems like a stubborn guy because he doesn't like to. He thinks his way is the best way, and so the ways I applied these theories, and or the theory and the concept is I applied the theory by showing that the organizational culture with this case study shows that how much of a culture Roger has created and what things he can or what things stand out. And so the employees kind of feel underappreciated. And so the dysfunctional conflict is the conflict that the employees feel anxious and they feel nervous because they're worried about losing their jobs, and it's kind of hard to work for somebody that is pretty much kind of threatening you. But there's so many situations like cutting people off and telling people to only worry about their work, and so it's kind of hard to communicate. It's very difficult to work for somebody like that, and so that causes stress. And I applied the stress the stress concept to this case study because the stress is expressed by employees, and not just the employees but Fred and Mary, because they're trying to help Roger have a better relationship with his employees, but it seems as if he's always kind of shutting people down. And later in the case study, Fred and Mary trying to ask him questions, and he shuts them down, saying, like, "Well, I'm the boss, and this is how it's gonna happen," and blah blah blah. And so, the other concepts I applied were the five essential elements, which kind of are, they don't really fit, but it just kind of gives me a better, it helps me understand, or helps us understand more that what should be expected out of the five essential elements, and how they're not represented really in this case study. And so, like, the supportiveness and the the communication that is contained within these elements aren't really shown in this case study. And so, the last concept I applied was the 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 defensive climate. And so it's kind of goes hand in hand with the dysfunctional conflict, and um, the employees feel anxious, and they feel as if they need to be cautious of where they are, and how they're communicating with their boss. So, but I'm going to wrap this video up. I'm trying to keep it within the time limit. And so, in conclusion, it kind of helped me. What I learned from this is that communication is very important, and it's very crucial that the higher ups definitely communicate with the employees, because they mesh with each other, and it creates a better environment for the employees to work in. And the more comfortable they are in, I believe that the more comfortable employees are, the better they are of opening up, and the better they are of getting better product and working more efficiently. So that's all I got for this case study, and thank you, and give me some feedback if you guys would like. Thanks.